right, shalom, shalom. Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Hey, again, double honors to you, to the apostles, elders at Great Millstone, salutations to you, Akim, that's out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. All right, so don't let your mind bring you down. Keep pushing, okay? Because this is a spiritual battle, all right? And you got to be spiritual in order to conquer, this the these obstacles. All right, these obstacles. All right. I remember at one point in my time, about 7 years ago, or less than 7 years ago, I was suffering from deep depression and apathy. All right, not being able to feel, not being able to care, and that it wasn't because I was being reckless. It was just because I allowed my environment to weigh me down. I allowed of depression to sink in and get the best of me, you know. And we're not supposed to allow that. All right, we're not supposed to be all deep in our thoughts and thinking about the worst case scenario. And we're supposed to be progressive and always have a progressive mindset, you know. And I could tell you now, it's easy to give into your mind because again, let's go into Jeremiah, the 17th chapter and the 9th verse, I believe. I might be wrong, but let's see. In Salakia again. Yep. So again, Jeremiah 17:9, it says, the heart is deceitful above all things, all right, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right. And deceitful, all right, it is definitely the perfect word to use, okay? Our minds, sometimes our minds fight against us, all right, because we live in these fleshly bodies, all right? We suffer all sorts of ailments, especially the mind is more weaker, living in the environment we live in, not to mention all the different things that set up against us. The air we breathe, sometimes the food we eat is all poison, all right? And they don't poison it, they don't oversaturate it. They give you little by little, and slowly your mind starts to slip, you know, and then that's just because this world is full of wickedness. All right, it says the heart, meaning your mind, is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right, so really you can't even search out how wicked and desperately wicked your own mind is. All right, your mind. The song, my mind's playing tricks on me. I think it's from the group from Texas, man. You know, and it's a true statement, man. All right. Verse 10, it says, I, the Lord Yahweh, search the heart. I try the reins. All right. And to try, another word for try is to prove. Okay. So a lot of times when we go through deep depression and we fight deep depression, really it's opportunity to be progressive and to fight that with spirituality and being spiritual. All right. And not giving into your mind in your environment. It says, I, the Lord Yahweh, search the heart. I try the reins or prove the reins, meaning your thoughts, the reins of your thoughts as well, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doing. See, and it's about what you do, okay? And a lot of times you have to correct your thoughts, all right? And a lot of times you have to take action, and instead of being idle and sitting there, because when you sit there and you be idle and you fester on these thoughts, they just lead you down a path of obscurity, really, So you have to do the spiritual things. You have to read. You have to change your perception by possibly changing what you're doing, and um, you know, hey, exercise is a good thing. Reading is definitely a good thing. Sometimes you can be exhausted, And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet, and you have to, you know, it's a fight. It's a fight. It's a spiritual fight. Okay. But again, you're not in the boat, and you're not in this thing alone. Okay. Okay. Because everybody else goes through pretty much the same things, man. It's just people deal with them a different way. 1 Corinthians, Salakia, 10 and 13, and it reads, it says, there hath no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. So this is all common to men. The same temptation that especially other brothers go through. I mean, the same temptation you go through, other brothers go through it as well. All right, hell, the whole world. But you know, people have different ways of dealing with it. Some people medicate, self-medicate. Some people meditate, which is the more preferred thing to do. All right, because it's easy to just, you know, keep self-medicating and whatever, however, drinking. You know, the world, they like to smoke, they like to pop Xannies, pop Percocets, all that stuff. You know, some people deal with it different, you know. But the main thing, because this is spiritual warfare, the main thing is reading and understanding and meditating, okay? Because I'm going to get Sirach, the 2nd chapter, all right? Because the scriptures talk about constantly endure, constantly set your mind right, you know? It says, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So you'll never be tempted above measure, all right? Your measure for yourself, all right? It says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So the Lord is always giving an escape route. There's always an escape route, all right? If you think it's something wicked, you know, there's certain mechanisms that go off in your body and in your spirit that kind of gives you the way to alleviate it by alternatives, you know, and alternative ways of thinking, because some people just get caught in their thought. They get lost in their thoughts, and then their thoughts become themselves, and it's just a vicious cycle. Some people are able to shake those thoughts, get rid of those thoughts, and get back into reality. All right, which is the reality. Speaking on is the main focus, the main focal point, which is what? Truth, redemption, salvation. All right. The Lord, you leaning upon the Lord in the time of troubles. You know, you fasting, you praying, and that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate remedy. All right, fasting and praying. All right, and meditating. Okay. So don't want to make this long at all. You know. So I got one more precept. Don't let this depression stop you. Like again, I was at one point in my life where I was going through apathy and deep depression, and not even you know, family or your woman or children could help you. You know, and all they could do is look at you and you know, hope the best or hope the worst, or talk crap about you, or you know, or do something else, or leave you alone, or whatever the case may be. But you have to fight for yourself. Okay. So this is 2nd Ezra 14 and 14. All right. It's like 2nd Ezra 14 and 14. I'm going to read on down. It says, let go from thee mortal thoughts. All right. Those are the fleshly thoughts. That's what you naturally think, right? It says, cast away the burdens of man. Okay. And the burdens of man is what? I mean, we have all sorts of pressure in this world, you know. Bills, work, job, family, all of that, and all that, especially for men, all right, because we held to the highest standard in society, especially Negro, Latino, and Native American men. You're held to the highest standards in society. You scrutinize the most, all right, by the women, by the media, everybody, all right. All right, so it says, put off now the weak nature, and that's what? Your primitive mindset, the primitive thoughts, those thoughts. Why? Because when we go into Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter, it says, you know, constantly set thy mind aright. and endure. I'm going to get it. I know I butchered it, but this is verse 15. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. All right. And haste thee to flee from these times. So really, your mind is supposed to be toward your main goals. For us, brethren, that is salvation. Again, the hope of salvation. All right. We're prisoners of hope anyway. All right. We're subject to vanity, but, and we're prisoners to hope. All right. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee and haste. All right. So you're supposed to, and at times, sometimes the thoughts are really heavy. They're so heavy to the point where you can't get them out your mind. Sometimes you have to stop, silence everything, and think and reset. All right. And think and be progressive in your thoughts. Be progressive and put yourself back in reality. Snap yourself back in reality. Okay. Again, that's focusing on the main objectives. All right. And for the most part, for the elect, that's salvation. That's redemption, being redeemed, being forgiven. The scripture's talking about hoping for the mercies of the Lord. Or praying for the mercies of the Lord. Having faith in the mercies of the Lord. All right, if I'm saying it right. All right, so it says, and haste thee to flee from these times, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So there's worse things to come. And don't get too caught in your mind, because you can, of course, the mind can lead you to hell. All right, it can have you in a worse condition. But there's worse things to come. Trust me. There's worse things to worry about. There's way more important things to worry about than what's going on around you, whether it be family, whether it be yourself and your thoughts, so on and so forth. There's way more important things to worry about. You got this devil, so-called white man, trying to get the whole world to be subjugated to his way of living, and he's doing it by force. I mean, eventually it's voluntary, but eventually it's going to be by force. So it says, for look how much the world shall be weaker than through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand, meaning lying. For now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen. All right. So that vision is coming. All right. Those said perils, those dangers that was spoke about eons ago, those are starting to come about. All right. We're going to see them in our reality. All right. So my last precept is Sirach, the second chapter, first verse. It says, my son, if thou, and I know these are topics we always talk about, but the Spirit just put it on me to just, go into this, because it's something I dealt with. Some the brothers deal with on a daily basis is deep depression, and only because we live in the world and we live in this flesh, so we're subject to vanity. We're subject to these certain things, the heart being desperately wicked, so my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. So you're supposed to know, be prepared for certain temptation to come your way, because we live in these primitive bodies. Also, 2 Ezra, the 7th chapter, tell you that the gates, the entrance into this world are narrow, meaning very difficult. All right, and the world to come is wide. That the kingdom. So and all men have to go through it. We all got to go through it. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure. All right, and this is for you. I can constantly endure. All right, and so don't quit. The whole thing is you got to keep pushing. You cannot quit. If you quit, you die. All right, and that's just the mentality you have to have. All right, it says, and make not haste in time of trouble. I mean, when certain things that you can't explain, or very bad situations come up, don't get emotional. Don't make decisions based on your emotions. You got to use logic. You got to use spirituality. You got to be spiritual. It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. All right. So if you stick to it, eventually, it's like working out. You're going to see the results. Okay. This is whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. All right. So again, mindset. Your mindset is supposed to be progressive. Because if it's not progressive, then again, you're going to fall into these certain traps that the mind sets for you. All right. It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So you're going to be in a lower state. And Paul said, I know how to abound and to be abased. So he knew how to have it all. He knew how to act when he had it all and then be grateful. And then he knew how to be grateful when he didn't have anything at all. All right. So the main thing is really giving praise and glory and honor, because you're really just being tested. And you really have to endure, because it's a spiritual warfare. There's nothing physical that we really have to do except for waking up, reading, studying, and just becoming all around, fixing on ourselves all around. Okay. So it says, for gold is tried in the fire. You see, in acceptable men, the point being acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So if you're acceptable, yes, you're going to go through it. All right. All right. And that's how we know. All right. It said, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. All right. Again, you have to apply what we know. What we know is right through the Spirit. All right. So, and part of patience is suffering. Okay. And again, if we trust in these things, we're going to see the results. Okay. Because the Lord said his word is pure, meaning tried, meaning proven. All right. So if you apply the word as is supposed to, you follow the instructions as you're supposed to, you're going to see the results. All right. Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall. You see, wait for the Lord's mercy lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Lord, willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and great millstones. Salutations to you, Akim, that's out there doing the work of truth and sincerity. Shalom.